All right, just to give you a little idea of where everything's at. This is called the project panel. Okay, this panel over here is where we import things to. You can import a picture, an image. You can import an animation, okay, for whatever you're going to use. This is where the layers are. Okay, we don't have one yet, but we will shortly. This is the timeline. Notice that it goes to 30 seconds because when we open the composition by hitting Control N, we made it 30 seconds. This is the character panel or properties panel. Whatever we click on, I'm going to click on text. This is the properties of that. Okay, to start with, in this program, to make a layer, you simply click on the composition and you type in whatever you want to type in. I'm going to use the arrow tool to move this to the center. If you want to change the colors, you can change the font by clicking right here and hitting the drop down arrow. Or you can change the fill color, double click it to make that black. And if you want to make the stroke a different color, you can double click on this outline and make that a different color too. Make it green. If you want your stroke to be a little thicker, these three lines indicate the stroke width. And you can do all kinds of other things that we've done before, like you could spread the words out or move them together. Okay, just about any change you want to make on the text, you can. Notice that as soon as you type the word, it makes a layer for it. And also notice that it already puts the frames down here for the entire length of the animation. We don't want it to be that long, so I'm going to move this down. You might want it this long. For example, if it was the background, we only want this to be on the screen about 2 or 3 seconds. So I'm going to move this down to about 3. Each time you need to do that. For the first one, we are going to do the word bush. If you want to be able to move things on and off the composition. That's why I want to scroll out or scroll in, okay, to make it the right size. I'm going to start by moving this down here. And just like in Animate, I'm going to come right over here, click the drop-down arrow, click the drop-down arrow under Transform, and to start, you have to click the little stopwatch. Once I click the stopwatch, just like a motion tween and Animate, I move this over, I move it up, move it over a little more, move it up, and I have my first animation. Okay, after you do one, collapse this one so that that layer is now closed. Move your playhead off of the frame and then just go type something else. This time I'm going to type in Bulldogs. We'll leave the font the same. Okay, notice that it takes up the whole length. We don't want that. I'm going to shrink this down to about 3 seconds. But just like in Flash, we don't want it to be happening at the same time. So I'm going to stair step these. Put my playhead right at the beginning. This next one we're going to do, sorry, that's bothering me. The next one we're going to do, click the drop down arrow, click on Transform. It's called Scale. All we're going to do here, so we're going to come over here and shrink this down. Move the playhead. Stretch it out. And if we back that one up, we've got the scale. I'm going to click the collapse. We have 2 animations now. Move the playhead over. Try the next one. We're going to put in I'm going to scooch this over. Same thing. You can see it's kind of a pattern, very similar to Animate, where we kind of have to stair step it. Make this about 2 or 3 seconds. For this one, I'm going to click the drop-down arrow of the layer, Transform, Rotation. Now for rotation, you can make it rotate however you want. Right now it's rotating at the bottom. Okay, if you don't like it rotating right there, maybe you want it to spin right in the middle. Where it says anchor point, change your anchor point. Now my little anchor right here is directly in the center. So now if I come over here to rotation, I can just go twist twist, move this a little bit, twist, move a little bit more, twist it all the way around. If I back it up, okay, I have another little animation. All right, last one. Last one, I'm going to click on this one. Just type in the word best. Center it. Same thing. First thing you do is resize these. All right, and our last one. I'm going to click the drop down arrow. I'm going to click transform. I'm going to click opacity. Everybody remembers what opacity does? Makes it fade. So we're going to turn this down. Move it over a little bit. Turn it back on. And now we have the fade. So if I close that down, if you don't watch the whole thing up there in the overhead all put together, space bar plays it. Position, scale, rotation, opacity. All right, I don't care if you put what the words are, but I want you to do one of each.